ooh, somebody sound like they're really upset. I mean, like really upset. It's cool though. It's cool though. Like we still here. So if you think the world gonna end or something, cuz like don't worry about it, man. I got you. I think we all got you. We in this thing together.
I'm David Worley, you're watching Atheist Edge.
It's okay to lie, even while testifying in court.
J-dubs teach that they are in theocratic warfare and we must exercise added caution when dealing with God's foes. Thus, the scriptures show that for the purpose of protecting the interests of God's cause, it is proper to hide the truth from God's enemies. We are talking about hiding the truth. In terms of theocratic warfare or spiritual warfare, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that all non-J-dubs are in the camp of Satan and all Jehovah's Witnesses are in God's camp.
To a degree, this is very true, and my initial thoughts were actually of what the Witnesses did through World War II. They were among many other minorities that were put into prison camps, we'll call it. I'm trying to think of how to word it so it's YouTube friendly. And obviously a minority compared to another group that had a much larger number of people in those camps. But nonetheless, despite being in these places, they would continue to do what they would call the good work. They would keep, doing their scriptures and stuff like that, and they'd obviously lie about that to the authorities of the time. And so as you can imagine, that they would use that as a precedent, as an argument as to why that it's acceptable to lie to basically any authorities so that it covers up the organization in some way. Keep the good name of Jehovah and all that. I feel it's a bit strange given that at the same token they will preach to be bold in those moments about what you're doing and who you are. If in their teaching, if you face death because of this, so be it. You'll be looked after by God.
They also talk about this theocratic warfare, and they use this particular thing to lie to the Australian Royal Commission on childhood abuse. And this has caused a lot of issue because the Australian Royal Commission is fining the Jehovah's Witnesses something like $6,000 a day as a financial incentive to give them the information of the people who have caused children severe distress.
Well, yeah, okay, but whether one believes in a religion or not, and whether one believes in rebirth or not, there isn't anyone who doesn't appreciate kindness and compassion. And I agree 100% with that. Kindness and compassion is the best way to go.
We try to approach all religions equally and be critical of all religions equally, but some religions are more open to criticism than others, and personalities too, and leaders. Dalai Lama, for all his shortcomings, it's hard to find any negative criticism on the man. It's not Mahatma Gandhi, for instance. You'd think that there's so much good. Mother Teresa, but in those two cases, we can find a lot wrong with both of them. But Dalai Lama, man, you're hard pressed to find any negative criticism. He seemed like, except for maybe his belief in supernatural phenomena, if nothing else.
Yeah, but hell, I was there once too, right? A friend of mine goes to see the Dalai Lama when he comes here to Vancouver every time he can. And I'd probably go see the guy just to see what he has to say. Here's what he talks about and stuff like that. Because he's got a lot of positive messages that he puts out there.
If I remember right, I will have it on the screen right now. But I think the current Dalai Lama wants to be the last one. He does not want a successor, which is kind of selfish. Yeah. He said it's either him or maybe his predecessor. One of the recent Dalai Lamas said, I want my successor to be a female and preferably very attractive. So there's that. Now I'm speaking off of just out the side of my neck right now, just trying to remember. So I don't have any data in front of me, but so I'll have it on the screen if either of those is true.
I wish all religious ideas were that easy to coexist with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, here.
Did you think death to the unbeliever could only be found in Islam? Guess again. If there be found among you a man or woman that worships other gods, bring them forth and stone them with stones until they are dead. This passage is from Deuteronomy 17, but I'm surprised that the author didn't pick Deuteronomy 13, 6 through 10, which is similar, but much worse. It says, if your brother, your mother's son, or your son or daughter, or the wife you cherish, or your friend who is like your own soul, entices you secretly, saying, let's go and serve other gods, whom neither you nor your fathers have known, of the gods of the peoples who are around you, near you, or far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end. You shall not consent to him or listen to him, and your eye shall not pity him, nor shall you spare or conceal him. Instead, you shall most certainly kill him. Your hand shall be the first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. So you shall stone him to death, because he has attempted to drive you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. God is so insecure about the possibility that you might worship another God that he tells you to personally stone to death your best friend or even your family if they even suggest checking out a different place of worship.
Sahih al-Bukhari, the Book of Marriage, Hadith 81. The Prophet said, the stipulations most entitled to be abided by are those with which you are given the right to enjoy the woman's private parts, in other words, the stipulations of the marriage contract. Men, the best part about marriage is having unrestricted access to your wife's vagina. Women, your primary job as a wife is to be a receptacle to your husband. Penis in, babies out. That's it. What's mind-boggling is that there are those that will actually try to say Islam is a feminist religion. Now go read that shit again and tell me again. Islam is a feminist religion? I don't think so. Don't piss in my face and tell me it's raining. You can just piss in my face and tell me you're pissing in my face. Thank you very much. Like most religions, Islam treats women like they're possessions, like they're just fucking things. If by some chance you're a woman and a Muslim and you happen to be seeing this video, hear me when I tell you, this is your life. No one, be they man nor God, have the right to take away your right to freedom of choice. This is your life. Only you get to live it.
If God exists beyond space and time, then there is no way he can interact with us. If he exists outside of time, he is by definition paralyzed, completely immobile. Movement through space requires time. Motion is the change of position of an object with respect to time.
Unless you're God, in which case you can say the rules don't apply to me. I'm going to call bullshit on that one.
I've had this discussion with believers before, and I don't think a lot of them understand what I'm saying, is that time is measured by matter moving through space. If all matter was immobile, there'd be no need for time. Time is just a measurement of motion through space. Like 24 hours is the time that it takes the Earth to make one revolution. 1 year is the time it takes the Earth to go around the sun once. So if God is outside of time, space and time, then time doesn't factor into him. Therefore, he can't move. He couldn't open his mouth to say, "Let there be light," for instance, because time doesn't work on him. He would be completely immobile.
What this is in my estimation, is a basic principle of comedy. If you buy the setup, you buy the punchline. Once you've bought into the beginning part of this thing, the idea that there is a God and that you're giving him all these qualities, anything at the end you're going to buy as the punchline. Oh, of course he can do X, Y, Z. So no surprise.
Yeah, you'll find a way to make it work if you've already bought in. Yep.
2 + 2 = 5. We're going to work this one out. We're going to figure out a way to make that happen.
Some facts on Islam, and I find Islam is the one religion you're not allowed to make fun of. I don't know why that is, but it's true. But I'm about to make fun of it. The violent surahs in the Quran only apply if Islam is at war. The problem is Islam is always at war in some way, form, or shape, and will remain so until a single caliphate spreads sharis across the entire world, or Sharia law. And all those nasty scriptures that count on Muslims to smite at their necks and slay the unbelievers are in effect, as we see. 77% of terror attack plots on the United States were motivated by Islam or some sect that believed they were speaking for Islam. 99.5% of all suicide attacks worldwide were motivated by Islam. Islam is not a race. It is not racist to criticize a religion. I absolutely agree with that.
We have to about this. It's gross. It's racist. It's not. But it's so not. It's like,
and we have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
of course we do.
Islam
but why
is the mother lode of bad ideas?
Jesus.
So we have
people of all colors, creeds, and even sexualities and sexual identities, I imagine, practice Islam, though they probably do it in secret. So it's not racist to criticize a religion, just like it's not racist to criticize Christianity or Judaism, because Jews and Christians come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. You're criticizing the ideology, not the person. I'm well aware that my Muslim friends, and I have many, that live here in the United States have been westernized and no longer believe that I should be thrown off a roof for being gay. But would Islamic extremists consider them Islam? Probably not. They would probably be considered apostates, even though they still technically attend services at a mosque. So that's what I'm saying. It is unfortunate that so many people cannot distinguish ethnicity from ideology. Condemnation of one is racism. If I hate you because you're black, if you hate me because I'm white, insert any other color, that's racism, that's bigotry. If I criticize the ideology behind your religion that's not racism. That is just critique of an ideology. Condemnation of the other is not only fair game, but it's a moral imperative. We have to question systems or creeds that might cause harm to other people, and religion does not get an exemption from that. Any truth claim, you have to prove its truth. If you think a religion is absolutely true, the burden of proof is on you. I can't prove a negative. I don't believe or see any existence of a higher being. I can't prove that. You can't prove a negative. The burden is on you, dear friend, no matter what religion you're part of, to prove to me with tangible evidence that I can understand that there is a higher being. The proof is on you. And if that higher being actually exists, he or she should be able to prove that to me with just a wiggle of their nose. Only Jews and Christians may live peacefully with Muslims under Islamic law. Buddhists, atheists, Hindus, and all other religious minorities in Islamic countries are forcibly converted or executed. Why did Jews and Christians get a pass? That's a new one. I thought they didn't like anything that wasn't Muslim. I learned something today. Hey.
If you think the end of the world is coming soon, not only are you wrong, but you are also contributing to the removal of all motivation to improve our condition here on earth. Well, I must say, I always wondered about this. How can religious people in the government talk about climate change being real if they believe they already know how the world is going to end? And especially if you're a Christian or something like that, You know that the world isn't going to end a certain way. So why should you be concerned about climate change at all? And then it still feeds into this actual, motivation to improve the conditions here on Earth. Here are just a few examples or end time prophecies. The hour is surely coming, but I will to keep it hidden, that every soul may be rewarded for that which it striveth. Because everything will soon come to an end. Be sensible and clear-headed so you can pray. Well, here it is. The last hour will come when there is much bloodshed. Behold, I am coming soon, and my reward is with me, to render to every man according to what he has done. Ooh, somebody sound like they're really upset. I mean, like, really upset. It's cool though. It's cool though. Like, we still here. So if you think the world gonna end or something, cuz, like, don't worry about it, man. I got you. I think we all got you. We in this thing together. All right. Men ask you about the hour. Say, the knowledge of it is only with Allah, and what will make you comprehend that the hour may be nigh? What is it about religions wanting to end the world? Like, why is it that they want everybody to die or the earth to be destroyed? Like, I don't like that. I know somewhere in the Bible it says that you will have a new heaven on the earth, and some people subscribe to that. I mean, it's better than the full destruction of the earth, but I think even in that case, the earth will be destroyed and a new one will be created. I mean, for some people who say the earth is made for us, why are y'all so, like, ready to get rid of it? Honestly, I just got questions, yo. Last one. Truly, I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. I think that was written like 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago. I mean, to be fair, maybe they got a different belief on what generation meant. I don't really think so. But let's say, since Jesus is from heaven, I guess a generation to him is like I don't know, maybe it's like 10,000 years or something like that. I don't know. But that's the last one. I'm Javier, the host and the creator of Javier Show. Make sure you go check me out. And I talk all things politics, religion, and culture. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. Peace and glory.
Number 390. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I can't stand the way this language is. I really like the fact that they've modernized the Bible in many cases, and you can just read it for what it is instead of the old language, because, whoo. Next one.